Yes, good morning, everyone. So let's settle in. So again, I see. So it's Mike, Joy, Francine, Sue. Who else is in the room? That's all. Good, good. And we have Karen online, and we see who joins us on Facebook also. How's everybody doing? So far, so good. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's see what today brings for us. If you guys are open for that, and to just kind of settle physically into that space of meditation, just move side to side from one sitting bone to another sitting bone. So kind of swing side to side on your seat, and notice that you feel the sitting bone on one side. And if you don't feel the sitting bone, you got to sit up straight. That's when you find it. So you can kind of also arch your back in and hunch it to kind of find where that point of that bone is. And just side to side on that. It's a good one to also release the sacrum, which is the triangle shaped bone right beneath your spine. And sometimes our back gets stuck, and we just need to loosen up that sacrum down there, so it helps. And then let's draw a circle with our hips. So you're gonna go round as if you're staring a pot, like you have a big cauldron and you're staring the pot. So go big. So sometimes if you're seated on a chair with a backing, you need to move forward a little bit on the seat, so you can go back also. Let's do two more rounds here. As you go back, hunch the low back. As you come forward, arch it. And then let's change direction. Warming up our seat. That's where we get to come and center. So, a lot of us, we think that yoga is a physical fitness program, and then come back to center. Whereas, 5,000 years ago when yoga was put together, nobody was really worried about physical fitness. So it was basically the practice was an hour or two, or maybe more practice, so that you can sit still for meditation. So since we don't have the hour or 2 hour to do the physical movement and then sit, it's always good to get the body, kind of have some shortcuts to kind of get it there. But if you have ever practiced yoga, you would know at the end of it, when it's the time for Shavasana, which is the last part of the practice, when you're on your back with your arms open and your palms up. Um, mm, I got feedback from just about all my clients, my students, that had been the best rest, the best 2, 3, 4, 5 minute rest that they have had ever in their lives. Like, you can really tune in and go into that theta frequency. And that theta frequency is where we get our most rest and rejuvenation during bedtime. And that's with meditation and with the practices that bring our body in alignment, we get to practice that in awakening times too. So that's just a little bit about why I get you guys to do your body movements a little bit before settling into the practice. So sit up nice and tall. Notice your sitting bones. push them, push them into your seat and sit up nice and tall. maybe a little bit of a muscle energy in the lowest part of your belly. The lowest part of your belly you can find. See if you can put a little bit of a muscle energy by pushing that part in. It almost feels like you're pushing your low belly into your kidneys. So hold that. Make sure you're breathing. So low belly in, and then tuck the tailbone a tiny bit under. So it's almost like you're scooping your bottom under, but there's a balance. So the low belly pushes into the kidney, and you tuck the bottom a tiny bit. So you feel that strengthening in your low back. Keep your eyes closed and just raise your arm for me to know that you feel that strengthening in your low back. There you go. There you go. Low belly in and tuck the tailbone under and keep that there. Inhale through your nose. Pause for a moment and exhale. Again, low belly in, tuck the tailbone under. Keep strengthening that space. Maybe tuck a little bit on the right side, tuck a little bit on the left side. Keep the low belly strong. Keep the back tall, as if there's a string through your spine with a knot at the bottom. And then I'm holding that string, I'm pulling you up, but your gravity is pulling you down. So feel that elongation. Maybe get about a half an inch taller in your spine. So it may feel a little bit odd and you're like, I'm not sure if I want to do this, but just know that the more space you create, the more your body gets a chance to heal, the more your mind has a space to sort things out. And it's also so good for your spine to give the vertebrae that space between them, even if it's a micron, even if it's a nanometer, even if it's a small, that, because that's all you need to release the back and the nerves. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, keep sitting tall, but you can release the muscle energy. And I would like you to just notice if you're sitting taller, like if you're height-wise taller. And just know that, and then, just appreciate that. That you do have ways to elongate. And therefore give your spine some of the space that it has perhaps lost over years. And also the cool thing about this is that you also open up the line of energy. So now as you inhale, notice how deep your breath goes through your chest, to your belly, into your base. Pause for a moment. And as you exhale, notice how much deeper and longer and wider your breath is. Let your shoulders drop. Inhale. Go as deep as your body allows you into your spine, into your core, into your base. Pause for a moment. And as you exhale, allow the exhalation to release. And let go. So a couple days ago in one of my meditations, 4 concepts came forward. And I call them the 4 C's. One was connection to self, and to the community that uplifts. Because as you know, we are the average of the 5 people who we hang out with, and one or two of them are the thoughts and the ways that we are, perhaps. So it's not about social media, it's the actual contact, actual surrounding. And then the next one, which escaped my mind, so I'm going to go to the third one, which is clearing. Basically, cleaning the slate to start with a childlike innocence. So if you're online, just make sure you guys are muted. Thank you. So first one was connection. Second one, escape my mind, it will come. Third one was clearing. And that's what basically our practice here on earth is, to releasing and letting go. It is nothing for us to gain. We have it all. It's just to clear and release and let go so that we can see it. And then the fourth one was choice, choosing. To kind of know what it is that you choose to do rather than just randomly doing things. So to choose if you want to go right or left, to choose if you want to sit or stand up, to actually recognize that you are doing things, but noticing that it is a choice. And even though if you make a choice that may not be good for you, but at least knowingly know that, hey, I know this is not that good for me, but I'm still gonna make that choice. And just be okay with it. So it's not that you got hijacked and you just did it. You know it. Take a nice deep breath and release it. So the focus of the meditations we do here is mostly about that clearing. To release, to let go. So as you're breathing, our human need is to focus on the inhalation, because we want to take that oxygen in. But as divine self, the focus is to be on exhalation, so we can release and let go and clear things. So as you inhale, take a note of how many counts you inhale. Pause for a moment. And as you exhale, take count how many counts you exhale. And just make a mental note of that. And then see if you can, on your next inhalation, whatever you count, see if you can make the exhalation longer, maybe 50% longer, So if you're doing 4 counts, inhale, see if you can do 6 count. Exhale. So right here, inhale and pause and exhale. Take your time exhaling. Exhale, exhale, and pause. Inhale. Pause for a moment and take count. Exhale, 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 and pause. Just keep with that practice for a moment. You know, your mind might come up with some fear ideas as, oh, I'm not going to make it. But that's usually the ego that shows up and wants to control things. So we're just going to tell it, we're good. We got this. Just be cool. So again, inhale, nice, long, deep. Pause for a moment. And exhale a little bit longer. And then come back to your normal breathing. And we're going to do maybe a couple more rounds. And again, take count of how long is your inhalation now. And most probably your inhalation is longer even though you didn't focus on it. Because the more we give, the more we receive. The more we release, the more we receive. So as you take your next inhalation, make a point to count again with the same rhythm. And perhaps notice that the inhalation now is longer. Pause for a moment and exhale, and make the exhalation a little bit longer than the inhalation. So we're just gonna do that for the next couple 3 minutes. Inhale nice and long and deep through your nose. Make sure you pause after. And then exhale, longer, deeper, wider. And make sure you pause after. So here we go. Take your time doing that on your own. Any thoughts, anything that comes to your mind, just put them on the thought shelf. And, know that we're going to come back to it. Just keep with your practice of breathing. Wherever you are, finish your last round. And then come back to normal breathing. And just settle here. Allow anything and everything that wants to bubble up. So notice sometimes there is a feeling that wants to bubble up within us. Usually the pelvic area is a bowl shape area, correct? So it's a space for collection. And usually things get collected there, emotions, feelings. So the feeling of things bubbling up, it's actually real. Like you feel if emotion or a feeling is bubbling up, maybe from a couple decades ago, or maybe less or more. Perhaps allow it, because the emotions is coming up. You may get wavered a little bit, but it's coming up to be released. So with that perspective, allow it to come up. And again, you may get wavered a little bit, but because you're consciously making a choice of how you want to show up with that, let it come up, and with a smile, let it release. Inhale nice and deep. Pause for a moment. Exhale, exhale the residuals out. And again, come back to your seat and notice if anything else wants to bubble up, wants to come up. Allow it to come, allow it to bubble up, allow it to release. Take a nice deep inhalation. Pause for a moment. And exhale. And one more round. Notice if anything else wants to bubble up, wants to come up. Encourage it, invite it. I mean, we have been into the habit of pushing it down, but the practice now is to allow it to come up so we can release it, so we can let it go. And then you will feel the lightness, you will feel this space. It's like that decluttering, that clearing space. You know, you may declutter your closet and then something else could open up in your life and some other issue could get resolved. It's so correlated. So allow whatever it is that wants to be released to come up and let it release. Inhale nice and deep. Create more space so things can have more room to move. And then as you exhale, elongate the exhalation and let the rest of the residuals to release. And then just come back to your normal breathing. Notice the lightness. Notice the space. Notice the clarity. And then you get to choose what you want to bring in. And again, even if you're bringing in something that doesn't serve you, at least know that you're making that choice without judgment. Just know you're making that choice. With the next inhalation, bring the hands in front of your heart, however you like it. You can be in Anjali Mudra, prayer hands, or you can have your hands on your heart. Take a nice deep inhalation. Exhale. From my heart to yours, thank you for being here. Thank you for your energy. I appreciate you. Namaste. And welcome back. So, if you guys were interested in the four C's that came to me, and I actually did a Facebook live on it, talked about it for, I don't know, 10 minutes. It's community connection, contribution, clearing, and choosing. So those were the four to play with, to bring into our lives, and see which one it is that we need to amp up a little bit more and play with more. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, please let me know now.
Yeah, thank you. Very nice.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm gonna jot those four C's down right now.
Sure.
Thank you, Moj.
You're welcome, Karen. Thank you for being here.
I do have a question.
Sure.
When noticing what wants to bubble up, sometimes I'm noticing that I really don't want it to bubble up.
Mm-hmm.
How can I work with that?
That's totally normal, because our practice has been pushing things down. It has been really wrong to be angry. It has been really wrong to be sad. It has been really wrong to frown, to be upset. But emotions, it's called emotions. Like, it's motions. It has to motion through us. And if we keep it stagnant, the only thing with it is that as soon as we get wavered, they're gonna take charge. So let's say if you're holding sadness, as soon as you put on the spot and you need to talk to a colleague, you need to talk to your boss, you need to talk seriously about a subject, you will start getting sad, and you will start crying. So then it defeats the purpose, because you're like, it's a wrong time in a wrong place. And same thing with anger. It could be a child could make a mistake, and then you could take the anger on the child. So it goes again in the wrong space. However, there are times that you get angry, and you just say, I am angry. Like, you just say it, I am angry, and I feel anger. And usually things I do, I fill up the sink with cold water, I put my head in there, and I scream. So you find ways of letting it bubble up and let it go. And again, it's just something that we haven't practiced. And it's like, ooh, if I do that, then I'm going to show weakness. If I do that, I'm going to show like I can't handle myself, and I'm not da-da-da-da, like all these stories. Yeah.
So it's better to invite them when you're calm and you're on your own and you can
Yes.
face them, versus walking around and have them come up on their own time.
Yes.
Whenever you are planning it.
Yes, I just noticed I am in another group that I'm part of, and I'm putting my meditation in that group, so that is really interesting. Um, oh well, I'm gonna turn this one off, and so it's gonna be in a group that I'm in. The meditation happened to be